Did you have any other jobs out of high school, college before you got into event planning?
Yes, I did. So I was always hustling. I was TV director at my college, St. Thomas University, Miami. Then I decided to get a job for the summer. And so the day that I wanted to get a job, I go for this interview at this pool company, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we need someone at the front desk answering phones." And I'm like, "Okay, amazing." And you need to have a car to make sure you make it on time every day, whatever. I'm like, "Okay, do you have a car?" "Mm-hmm. Yep, I do. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for the job." Walk out of there. I don't have a car. Call Russell and his dad. "Hey, let's go get me a car right now." I'm that kind of person that if I want it, I got it.
Right.
I work my ass off for everything I have.
Yeah.
So then after that job, I worked a few years there, and then I decided to do an internship back at my university. So I worked in the alumni office. So I was helping to put events, fundraisers to raise money for the university. Loved it all except for the fundraising part. I'm like, I don't want to ask Mr. Schwartz for money. I don't want to have to do the ask. The ask is so annoying because it's just in there like, "So we need that new gym." Like it's annoying.
Terrible.
So I was like, you know what, guys? I want to do the parties. I don't want to do the actual fundraising part. So I ended up getting a job at the Radisson Hotel. That's my first catering job, and worked my way all the way up, honey, to senior manager. And then I got recruited by Fisher Island. They heard there was this beautiful girl who could sell water to a well, and I was like, that's me.
Right.
Went to Fisher Island, became director of Fisher Island. There was a floral studio that was for sale on Fisher Island. Bought the flower studio.
Wow.
I was running Fisher Island events, and through and through on the planning side and on the execution, which is the production side. And then afterwards, I grew my company even off island. So I was back on Miami proper, 3 warehouses, the whole thing. So I'm going from breakers to Portugal, like literally all over the world. And then I started this show. I started being on this show all of a sudden, and then
So in between though, what age were you when you guys got married?
I got married at 25.
25.
We had my first child at 30. 5 years later, we waited. And then second child 6 years later.
And did you move in together right after high school?
So we moved in when I got engaged, because I was like, "Listen, you want me to move in?" Because he was buying the house from his parents, long story. So he was, and he's like, "Hey, move in." I'm like, "Who do you think I am? Cow giving milk for free?" I mean, no. So he put a ring on it, and then I moved in. Okay. My father's a pastor. Remember that. We got to respect the rules.
The rules, of course. So I've heard you talk about other events, but I don't really know about your marriage or your wedding.
Oh my God, my wedding. My wedding
that.
was featured on the Knot magazine, actually, way back when we got married. So I already knew I was that girl back then. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. So
did you submit
kidding,
it?
not kidding.
Wait, did you submit it, or how did they even find you guys?
We submitted it.
Okay.
We submitted it, and I had just started working in the actual planning event side. So that I was like,
so they loved that story. That
they
you
loved
were
that
in
story.
The events.
Oh yeah, it was like a 2-3 page, four page spread. Yeah,
okay,
it was
so
amazing.
where did you get married?
At the Spanish monastery.
Okay.
It's near Aventura, North Miami Beach, and every time we would be at the mall, Aventura Mall, twice a week or every weekend watching a movie. We were big movie buffs. And so every time we drove to the mall, we would always pass by the Spanish monastery. And then when I graduated college, or right before, I went to do some studies in Spain. So there was this Spanish connection all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I always want to get married at a Spanish monastery. I did my studies in Spain. Let's get married at the Spanish monastery. Had an Española style theme. So the girls wore red, my bridesmaids, with a fan for a bouquet. And
amazing.
It was like super cool. And I did it all myself.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. You planned it.
I planned myself. I just did everything myself because I knew what I wanted, and no BS. I rented my wedding dress, by the way.
You did?
Oh, girl, who's paying freaking $6,000, $10,000 for a dress for one day?
Right, that you never wear.
And I'm like, no, I could put anything on and it'll be fine. So I literally went to briderental.com, whatever it was called, walked in, tried on maybe 2 dresses, and then I said, okay, I'm going to do a strapless. I got this. I'm going to Guerdify it. Added on literally custom bead, beautiful 3-tiered beads, staggering, like epaulette, epaulette type of thing. And that was it. And I was like, this is it. And they were like removable. So when it was dancing time, I took them off. Very clean, very simple, very timeless.
Thank you so much for listening to Misunderstood. I'm your host, Rachel Yucatel. Please be sure to subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star rating and review. You can support the show by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel. Do you have ideas for the show or want to reach out? Email us at info misunderstoodpodcast@gmail.com. That's spelled MISS understood. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.